All right, time to start building this thing. So one mistake I made is I made all this. I forgot this little hole for wire access to get from the top of these things to put an LED to light up the snowflakes here. Okay, I also learned a lesson about this where here I am cutting out the white paper. I'm cutting this out of black paper and, gluing it onto here carefully. Well, what if I just printed this image on white paper? So that's what I did. Somebody mentioned it to me. So yeah, I'm using my printer to print out this image in black. So what would that look like? Let's do I don't know, a dark blue and make that a fill. Oh, huh. Okay. Whatever, that's weird. Oh, whoops. Window filled smooth. There we go. So yeah, that's what I'm printing, but I'm printing it out like that. Make sure you print it out backwards, okay? So this is what I'm printing out, and then I'm adhering it. So let me show you what I got here. So here's my bench. Okay, so I got all these guys, right? I decided to do a butterfly scene. I did a couple different scenes because I really liked the idea. I had fun with it. But this is a butterfly scene. Then once you shine the light through, it shows a little vine in the middle, right? Kind of fun. Okay, so I got all four of those set up. I just took the cutout, the laser cutout, put a glue stick on it, right? And then put the paper on and just pushed and let it dry. Okay, I did something similar with the flowers on top, where I took a squarish piece of paper, glued it on, and then while it was glued on, I cut the edges. I actually held it up to the light so I could see the edges and then cut, making sure not to cut in too far or cut out too far, right? That way everything showed up. So I got all these ready. I got four of these, right? I preloaded some of these. The hole wasn't quite right, so I had to make that hole a little bigger. That's another thing I fixed in in this was this hole. I think we set it to 7. Let's ungroup that. Okay, this hole was set to 7. Now it's just a tiny bit bigger, and the little sides come out a little bit more. So yeah, I had to fix that. It was a little tight, but this hole worked perfectly. So yeah, this hole, like this, just popped right in and stayed. Like it's not going anywhere. So I'm pretty happy about that. Okay, so I got that. See, I've got 3 of these sides. I'll put these somewhere else. Okay, cool. I'll put these somewhere else, and then I need. Let's see, so that's the middle piece here. That's a base. And then here's that top piece with that fresh hole I remember to add. Okay, so let's start putting this thing together here. I built a couple now, and there's a way to sort of do it right that just makes sense and makes it all come together real easy. Okay, so first thing is, I guess, first thing we're throwing some on the floor. Okay, firster thing, we start building the base pieces, okay, the big pieces that go on the outside ish. So I like the pretty side up top, the side with the smoke stains on bottom. So here's smoke stain side. I'm not going to actually glue it in yet. I'll glue it in after I put it in. It's a cool little process I come up with. Okay. So let's see. Let's get that. Let's get another piece here. Okay. And let's start putting it in those joints there. So that corner's in. Right? Oh, don't want this corner in just yet. And I'll put this in. So it's got an uglier side and a prettier side. So I'll make sure the prettier side's on the outside. Okay, the laser here at the space has a breather table. The laser I have at my work does not have a breather table, so lots of smoke staining. And pieces like to jump out too, which is lame. Okay, so got that piece on there. And then stuff it all in. Cool. All right, you might need to whack them in, okay? And if you really want to be careful, Like place a flat surface and whack the surface on it to whack them in. Okay, so now I got the base assembled, right? Ish. It could fall out if it's too loose. But here we go. Okay, so keep in mind that we have power and power switch here, okay? So I pre-wired these little LED things here, okay? So I already see a mistake on this one. I had a mistake on a previous one. This is like my third video doing this. Okay, there it is. This one's done right. For some reason, I just could not get this right. Okay, so this little wire here, let's see. So we got digital in, digital out. Okay, so DO, this one says DO, so that's digital out, which means data is going into this one and going out to this one and then going out. Okay, so I want the data to start at the base. So data in here, and these little wires need to go towards the power and the power switch, whether it be this hole or this hole, whatever gets them towards that power. Okay, so I'm gonna plan to send it through this hole, these wires. Okay, so here's my super glue. Oh, is that super glue? No, that's accelerator. Okay, whoops, that's all right. We'll put super glue on this side. I typically put the accelerator in the wood. But we'll do super glue on the wood and accelerate on the pad. And we're going to have to rub it around and then let it hold. And there it is. We're cured. Cool. And that is close enough to center. It's going to look great. Okay. So now I take my wires and push them through here. Okay. And then at the corner, I'm going to bend these wires. Give them a pretty aggressive bend here. There we go. Okay. Now with that length that I have, I'm going to do a similar bend to this. Okay. That way, it wants the wires to stay outside, right? So if it's a little longer, that's all right, because the wires will stay. If it's a little shorter, that's all right too. But it's going to keep the wires in the corner so we don't get silhouettes onto our scenes, right? Because we have these, and we just want the vines, not vines and wires showing through. Okay. So I got that set up. Now I'm going to start building the sides here. So I've got the print side on the back, right? Did the same thing where I took the glue stick and put it on the ugly side, the back side here, and then just lined it up and stuck this, right? I just took like you can't take scissors. I had this little chopping mat that I cut these out on. Okay. So I'm going to take two of them, right? Like this. Okay. Fold them like this here, right? With the teeth in, and just put this corner in. Okay, once I get that corner to sit, okay. I need to bring out the Clobbermeister for this. There we go. Okay, that corner's sitting nicely. Cool. Okay, and then let's see. So butterfly out. I got them all lined up earlier with every single one of these backwards. There we go. Okay, that's going in. The teeth are starting to get in there and grab. Oh, there we go. That's a good seat. Okay. So that whole side's in. And then I'm going to take this, let's see, droop it over the side here. That's all right if it wants to split. Not a big deal. As long as it seats nice. Okay. So then take this. Let's see, line up our teeth. Okay. There we go. Okay. Guess we're whacking this one too. Cool. Oh, there we go. Okay. Yeah, that's nice. I'm a big fan of a good tight fit when it comes to lasering stuff. Yeah, that's snug. Cool. Okay. Very good. And then we got our ceiling panel here, right? So I'm going to do it right this time. Okay, so before I do that, this wire's coming out, and I want it coming through the hole here, okay? That's what this hole is for. I don't want it like the wire to have to come around and then go up. I want it to be aiming that way. So the plan is to have it like that, so that these wires can come out this hole. Okay, so let's put a little bit of super glue on this time. There we go. Okay, and then some accelerator. Let's see. I want it this up. Okay, cool. Because this will all get covered. Accelerator is on here. Okay, and then make sure to point it towards the hole, right? Little like that, and that is on there. Cool. All right. So now I'm going to start putting the roof on here, or the ceiling on, I guess. Guess oh, what am I thinking? I gotta run the wires through here first. Oh, silly me. Okay, there we go. Okay. And then working on lighting all this up. Okay. Let's see. Get it to sit. Nope. Boy, this one's being stubborn. Okay. A little whacking. Oh, there it goes. Okay. This is a extra snug one. There we go. Okay, that's lined up. Ah, okay. That's seated just nice. Just perfectly. Okay, cool. So this is where we're at so far. Okay. Cool. Now we have to get another. So I use these 3-watt LEDs. You can order them from Adafruit or get them straight from China. If you look at Adafruit's their data sheet on it, the data sheet says iPixel LED, and that's who they order it from. So they sort of give away, their source. You can get them about half the price, but the shipping's huge, so you got to order a lot of them for it to be worth it. So what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna put heat on the solder joint and use the soldering iron to pull it away. So pressure on the soldering iron, pull the wire away, right? So do that a few times here. There we go. All right. So now I got this LED. So data is coming from the bottom one to the top one and then out to here. So I need to make sure that data in, it has a data out or DO and a DI. So DI needs to go this way. Okay, so super glue on this. Okay. Accelerator up here. There we go. Okay, flip it over quickly. DI goes this way, and there it is. We're cured. I also have way too much wire here, so I'm going to do something about that. Maybe if I can find the clippers real fast. Oh, okay, there they are. Cool. Okay, so I want them about this long. That's a little more reasonable. There we go. There we go. Cool. Then we're going to take the soldering iron and some solder. And let's see, we got that. We got that. And so this is what I did between them, by the way. I had to solder them like this to connect them together. Connect that. Let's see, blue is data. So I do red for power, blue for data, black for ground. Make sure you're connecting the right ones. You're not necessarily going to hurt it unless you hook power to ground and ground to power. Okay. So that's hooked up. Now let's look at the back side here, the underside. So we got to deal with this still. Now don't put a ton of pressure on this thing, okay? This LED, you can't hurt it, so be careful here. Actually, I think I might go to lap view for this one. I work way better in my lap. And I was like, why am I struggling so much? Oh, because I'm not working naturally here. So let's go to little cam. There's my lap. Cool. So this is the work zone I'm usually in. Cool. Okay. Let's see. Yeah, we can see it here. Okay. So I need 2 reds and a black. So let's see if we can scrounge something already on the table. All right, here's a red and black. Cool. So we have, let's see, little jumper for the red. Okay. Right. Another little jumper for the red. Okay. There we go. And then another little jumper for the black, a little longer jumper. Okay. I'll go to bench view in just a second here to show you what we got. Okay, so here's my little jumpers, okay? So we got 2, well, they're not actually that short, but they're shorter, and then a longer black, okay? Whoops, there we go. There's our cam, okay. So then we take our solder here, and I hang it out into space. Okay. And I'm a big fan of pre-tinning. There we go. A little bit of solder on each of those. Same thing here, same thing here. It looks like that side's already soldered, but we'll give it more. Just for theatrical purposes. And what's it called? Symmetrical purposes. Okay. So then we also have to tin all the connectors in here. So the power switch has 2 little things. So let's see if I can keep it in camera view here. There we go. Okay, plenty of solder on everything. Perfect. And now these things, see, I need to be able to tie those to that. So I guess I shouldn't have soldered everything. That's okay. Not a big deal. So let's see, power needs to be tied to this power. So I want to shorten each of these. Okay. We'll chop that off. Chop this off. Okay. Then we'll tie them together. There you go. So this side will go into the controller, which I'll show you in just a second. And then this side will connect to the power switch. So the reds where I tied them together, I'm going to solder, and then I'll attach them. There we go. Okay. And it's kind of a stretch. I think I'm going to flip this power switch. Whoa. Okay. So it was like this. I'm going to flip it like this. Oh, man. The most slippery power switch ever. Just so that the pins are a little closer. So, see how the pins are now on the side next to the power, right? There we go. Instead of being away. I just want it that much closer. Okay. There we go. Okay, that makes me happy. I can do that. Okay. Cool. Okay, so when I flip the switch, it connects that middle one to this one and powers everything on. Sweet. Okay. So now power, or sorry, not power, ground, I'm going to have to do something similar here. Oh, first I should probably jumper power because it's underneath it. So the long one, let's see if I can get a good angle on this. Let's see if that's a good angle. There we go. Okay. So we got a long one here and a short one underneath it, right? See those shiny pieces? Don't know why it doesn't just focus. But the short one's power, the long one's ground. So I'm going to wire up the short one. Okay. And then wire it to the other connector of the switch here. Perfect. All right. Cool. So I got power set up. And now ground just needs to be split and connected. So chop off a little from ground. Okay. And then peel it back. Shorten my ground a little bit. Whoops. Peel it back. We're going to twist the two grounds together, the two blacks. Okay. There we go. And then this attaches to that top pin of the barrel connector. All right, everything's soldered there. Okay, now we're going to need a controller, okay? So we've got power, which is red, ground, which is black, and blue, which is data here. Okay. See, everything's still holding. Is anything glued yet? No, the case isn't glued at all just yet. Okay. It could be, but I want to make sure everything's working before I glue it too much. Okay. So I could program my own thing. Let's go back to Benchcam. Okay. I could program my own thing using an Arduino Nano, but I'm gonna do a Wi-Fi control. So with this little guy, this is an ESP8266. It's called a mini node. D1 Mini. ESP8266 D1 Mini. They're like $2. They're super cheap. Okay, and they can run this program called WLED. I'll show you that, guys, here in just a second. Okay, I can also use an ESP32, which is way more powerful. It can control like 10 times as many lights, and like this one I can control up to 4 strings, but it doesn't like to do more than 2. With ESP32, I can control 10 different pieces of like 10 different, I don't know what to call it, 10 different data lines, because each one of these goes to the next one, goes to the next one. So that's a single data line in here with three neopixels. So this one can control like 1,000. The ESP32 can control like 5,000 or something. I don't remember what it is. But either way, for the price and for the controllability, I'm going to go for the ESP8266. You can find them on Amazon. They're not too expensive. Okay. Now this one, that little chip right here, that's called a CH340. If your computer doesn't recognize this chip, like it says USB not recognized, you're going to have to install CH340 drivers. So you can Google CH340, and one of the first ones that should pop up is from SparkFun, and follow their tutorial. Okay, if you want me to put a tutorial on how to install it, just comment that. But let's go. So let's go back to our desktop here. I'm going to open up Chrome. And, there's my stuff. Cool. Okay. So, let's see. Okay, so if you go to install, right, install.wled.me, it brings you to the site here, okay? So, before you plug in, let's do the dual view. There we go. Before you plug in your board to your computer, Okay, let's. Oh, there we go. Unbury this. Okay, before I plug it in on this website here, I'm gonna hit install. Okay, so hit install, and it shows. It might show some things. It might show nothing. But what we're gonna look for is a change here. Okay, so I plug it in. My computer recognizes something. Cool. Now the current issue is. Well, okay, I'll show you guys what happens here. So if it doesn't show up right, then you might need CH340 drivers. Okay, I'm going to hit connect, or I'm going to select it, then hit connect, and nothing happens, right? Okay. The reason that is because Lightburn is running. When Lightburn is running, it tries to connect to whatever COM you have, okay? So with there only being one COM, it's actually trying to look at COM3 and connect to it, even though it says choose. So Lightburn is actually getting in the way of this installing. So before you install this, shut down Lightburn, okay? So I'm going to close it. I don't think I want to save it. Oh, yeah, I changed the colors of the thing to show you the printout. Okay. So now I hit install, select COM3, hit connect, and it looks a little different, right? Now, there's nothing like flashing or blinking on the chip here. That's because it's not a nano. It doesn't really tell you that it's doing anything. It just shows writing. So we'll just watch this work. This is a cool little open source project, and I like that you can program it. You need to use Chrome or Edge to program this, by the way. It won't work in Firefox. I guess you're watching a YouTube video of paint dry right now. But it's almost there. There it is. Cool. All done. Sweet. Okay. Let's go back to our bench cam. Okay. Now we can unplug it. The blue light sort of gives the clue that it's done too. Okay. We're going to unplug this. Okay. Now we've got 3 pins down here that we need to use. We've got 5 volts, ground, and D4. Okay. I'm going to go back to desktop here. And ESP8266 D1 Mini. Go to images. I'll show you what I'm looking at. Okay, that one's up here. Let's see if we get one the right direction. Oh, that's all right. That's a good show. Okay, so right here where it says 5 volts, ground, and D4, that's what we're going to use, okay? So 5 volts is going to be our 5-volt line. That's the red power. Ground is the ground line. That's a black. And D4 is the data line. That's a blue, okay? So we got 5 volts, ground, D4. And I think we're going back to, what's it called? Lap view. All right. Cool. So here, see, 5 volts is first. I'll put that in there. Okay. That's popping through kind of nice. Gonna get some solder floating out here. And I think I can do this left-handed. Maybe. Gotta get that a little lower. There we go. Okay. So pressure against the pad and the wire and start feeding solder into it. Maybe. Am I still on? Okay, I'm gonna do it right-handed. Something's going on here. First of all, let's wet the tip. Oh, there we go. Okay, cool. I guess this is a YouTube now of me just struggling. Okay, there we go. And put it in the puddle. Okay. Perfect. So that's the power. And the next we need is ground. Okay. There we go. And then finally we need data. We'll pop that through and then add a little fresh solder. Sweet. Okay. So we have red to power, black to ground, and blue to data. Okay. Perfect. Now before we get too far, let's test this thing out, okay? So what should happen is I should give it 5 volts on the plug, flip it on, it might flash white or something, but then it should turn, well, it should turn yellow, but it's going to turn green. And I'll explain why in a little bit. Okay. So we're going to bench cam. Okay. Actually, we can go back to lap cam. We'll just do it from the side here. See it actually boot up. There we go. Okay. So let's find some power for it. Okay. Plug the power in. Oh, whoops. Guess I had the switch already turned on. But either way, it booted up and it's green. Okay. It's all green, which is all right. Okay. Cool. Which means everything worked. The wiring worked. So we're going to go back to bench cam here. I'm going to take my tablet. I guess I shouldn't show you the whole world my passcode. Okay. So now, what I'm going to do, let's see, open up my Wi-Fi settings. Under Wi-Fi, I'm going to find WLED. Okay. There it is. And I'm going to go to the controls. And as I change the colors, oh, whoops, nope. Let's see, this isn't the right AP here. Okay. So let's turn off Wi-Fi. Okay. Then I'm going to turn Wi-Fi back on. Let's see what we find. There we go. So it connected to WLED again. Okay. Now the password is WLED 1234. Okay, go to the controls. There we go. You see it changing? So I click a color and it changes. But when I go to red, it turns green. When I go to green, it turns red. When I go to blue, it turns blue. So that's all good, right? So what we're going to do here is go to Config, LED Preferences. Okay. First of all, total LED count is 3. We only have 3 LEDs in there. Don't worry about this stuff. Don't enable delimiter. Well, you should have enough power to run the whole thing. Okay. So pin 2 is D4, so that's all good. Count is 3, we're all good. But color order, that's the issue. Where green is red, red is green. So under color order, I got to swap the G and the R. So this one's GRB. I need to find RGB, which is the next one. So that says RGB. That's going to be the right order now. Okay. And this one where it says apply preset, I'm going to apply preset 1. And I'll show you why in just a little bit, why we do that. Okay. A bunch of other settings. You can go into it. There's a lot of cool things this program does. Hit save. Oh, all right. So now, we'll go back. Now it's green. So I'm going to go to the controls here. And I notice when I click green, it's green. When I click red, it's red. When I click blue, it's blue. So we got all the right colors here, right? So we're all good. Okay. So everything's tested. Now I'm going to shut this off and get back to it in a little bit. Okay. So put the tablet away. And flip off my little lantern here. There we go. And unplug it. Okay, so let's get some glue on this thing here. Oh, I guess I should build the roof first. So the roof here, I'm just going to start putting it together. If I had like a big square cutout that I could set this in, this would be a lot easier and I would get it perfect. And then I could actually use wood glue to do this. But since I don't, I'm using super glue on wood, which is a little sacrilege, but that's okay. It's what I have. So what I'm going to do here is hold it together carefully with my fingers. I'm going to start about a third of the way down and come about a third of the way down, okay, with my super glue line. I don't want a ton of it there, okay? And then I'm going to quickly drop some accelerator onto each of these, and I don't care if I get it on the paper. And while it's curing, I need to make sure it's really straight. Then I'll give it about, I don't know, a couple more seconds. There we go. All right, we're solid. You see how it's got all these little spots? That stuff will all dissolve in a little bit. I'm not worried about that. Okay, so I got a roof here. And that'll just pop up on here. So that's easy enough to do. Okay, see, I think we're going back to lap view for this. Okay. So down here, we have all these little slots that come through, right? And then these on the edge. So what I'm going to do here is make sure that all these are pushed in. I'm going to put some super glue. I guess you would put wood glue. I'm going to put super glue in all the corners here where the finger joints stick out. Okay. So there we go. All those little dark spots. And then I'm going to accelerate it all. Cool. Okay. Let that cure. And now it's attached. Cool. So not only did it grab the fingers for the top one, it grabbed the fingers for the bottom one too. All in one hit. Okay. So that's good to go. And now this is a little more awkward. So this sits on there, right? And I'm going to balance it like this. So I'm going to do one line of super glue between the roof and the box and next to the box and the joints. Okay. Accelerate them both. There we go. Come to the other side, do the same thing here. Okay. Line between the roof and the top. Line between the sides and the top. Okay. And then accelerate them both. Cool. All right. Do the same thing 2 more times. There we go. Oh. I just dragged my thing into the super glue. And now it's clogged. Whoops. That's all right. That's easy to deal with. There we go. Okay. And then accelerate that. There we go. Cool. Okay, then one more side. Perfect. And accelerate. All right. So now that roof isn't going anywhere. Okay. Make sure there's no drips. Cool. Okay. So now we're at this point, and now we got the base here. Okay. So what I'm going to do is, okay, I guess I'll start with the, that one I had a tough time cutting out. For video's sakes, I want to find one that cut out really nice. Yeah, like that. Cool. Okay. So I'm going to do corners and middle. Okay. So corner, little dot, middle, corner, middle. Okay. So I got that. And now, same thing over here. Okay. And then flip it over and let's see, I'm going to stuff that down a little bit. And let's start pushing this on here. Oh, that goes on nice. Whoa. It's the nicest one ever. It just pushed in. Haven't had that all day. Cool. Okay. There we go. And I can accelerate if I want, but I'm just going to let it cure. That's fine. Okay, let's go to my face here. Hello. And now we have a lantern, like all built here. Okay, pretty cool, right? And I'm gonna boot it up so we can see it running. Maybe. Oh, there's a power line. Cool. Okay, so this time it's off. Okay, and then I plug it in, and there it goes. Isn't that cool? And it has a silhouette of the plants in the back. So, this is my build process. This is all the improvements. And it's got room for, power and stuff and LEDs, all sorts of LED different types that you want. So, anyways, thanks for watching. Thanks for watching the build. Maybe let's see if we hashtag this. Hashtag it WLED lamp, and I'm gonna have to do the same, so that way I can search on Instagram for it. If you guys make one and post it, or just tell me that you made one. I'd love to see your version. Maybe whatever patterns you did. Maybe you copied my pattern. I don't know, but I'd love to see it. Anyways, thanks for watching. See you next time.